Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the COP27 Climate Change Conference have concluded today in the Red Sea Resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, we have the pleasure to host one of the youth who participated in this conference, Dr. Hisham Nasr, expert in field of renewable energy and green hydrogen and energy consultant in UN Industrial Development Organization in field of renewable energy and participated in the COP27. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well, I really have the honor to host you today. As I can see from your title, you are an Egyptian and you were living in Netherlands,
yes.
and you are participating now in this important conference in Egypt, and you are one of the participants of Egypt Green Hydrogen Project.
Exactly, yeah.
So could you shed light on this, please?
Yeah, sure. So mostly, I was living in the Netherlands. I was doing my master degree on the energy transition, which is related to renewable energy, solar, wind, and also like the power to X projects like green hydrogen, green ammonia. And then later, there is an ongoing projects happening in Egypt because of the location, and Egypt has really good potential for wind and solar resources. So I'm working on green hydrogen projects in Egypt with a Norwegian company, and I was attending the conference to witness the signing of framework agreements with the president, the Egyptian president,
President Abdel Fattah
al-Sisi,
Yes.
exactly, yeah. Also along with the Prime Minister of Norway.
Yes.
That happened also in the last week to start the first and commission the first stage of the projects happening in Egypt.
Yes. So, Dr. Nasr, you've witnessed the signing agreements or the memorandum of understanding concerning with the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Tell me about this experience, please.
Yes, exactly. I mean, also, yeah, the government was really giving us like a lot of interest and a lot of support to continue the project, because we have signed like MOU first, like 1.5 years ago, and this was like a framework agreement, a binding agreement to continue the project. So the president was really keen on to attend the commissioning of the first stage of the project. So he was there like seeing like the virtual plant, because the plant is in Ain al-Sokhna area.
Yes.
And he was there like attending along with the Prime Minister of Norway, who was there also, the CEO of the company, and along with the all stakeholders. It was really like a moment of honor just to start this project, and also the president was keen on supporting us to like continue with the project in a fast pace, and
Yes.
like to do more projects also in Egypt.
Yes. What was your impression concerning the president and his keenness on transferring Egypt and also implementing these important projects concerning the green hydrogen?
I was really proud, like being an Egyptian working on a Norwegian company, and like seeing the president like is really supporting this projects to happen. It's a new project, like it's not ordinary project happening anywhere in the world.
Yes.
So the president was really giving support to the CEO and the Prime Minister, just keep continuing doing the project. If you have a problem with the bureaucracy or whatsoever, just come to me and I will facilitate the process. Just keep going with what you are doing, and we like the government and everyone will be supporting you. And that's what gives the momentum to the company to sign a new project as well with green ammonia, and also to sign a 5 gigawatt of wind project also in Egypt, because of this support and the facilitation happening in Egypt.
Yes. So the support by the Egyptian president, of course, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, gives the youth strength, of course. So could you give us an idea about the project itself that you are working in?
Yes, exactly. So green hydrogen is a gas. It's like the natural gas or whatsoever, but calling it green because it's coming from a renewable source.
Yes.
Renewable source is mostly wind and solar. So you have a wind plant and a solar plant. This wind and solar plant is connected to the plant where you can produce the hydrogen. The process itself is called electrolysis, and which is you have an input of energy, and then you have a water. The water will come directly from the sea, because we'll not use fresh water. It will be a desalinated water, and there will be a desalination plant. And then the hydrogen will be coming out from the electrolysis process. This hydrogen will be called green, and it can be used in different applications. It can directly generate electricity. It can be transported to another form, which is ammonia.
Yes.
Green ammonia is really common in the usage of fertilizers field. Like Egypt is one of the big exporters of fertilizers globally. So when we can export ammonia or export green fertilizer, this will like add a lot to Egypt in terms of being a regional hub in the region, and also because EU and other countries will be keen on exporting green products in the future.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Nasr, also you participated or took part in the activities of the session that was titled Towards Reaching Zero Carbon Emissions during the COP27. So,
yes,
could you talk to
exactly.
us
So
about
it
this?
was like an invitation from the Minister of Immigration.
Yes.
Her Excellency Sohal Gindi.
Yes.
She was really keen on getting all expats abroad, living abroad, and also researchers, just to gather and introduce our topics to the audience. So I was there along with other colleagues. We were talking about different topics related to reducing the carbon emissions. So we were there like having the support of the minister. She was the moderator, and she was really keen on understanding every single topic we're presenting. So I was also talking about the green hydrogen project and how this can help Egypt to reduce its emissions, and how this can put Egypt also as a energy regional hub.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Nasr, how do you see the importance of the COP27 as linking or attracting back the Egyptian youth who are experts in the field of, like you, in the field of renewable energy, green hydrogen, and all these kind of youth who were living abroad and now are connected back to Egypt and are willing to support Egypt once again and to give their experience, to Egypt, and to be involved and participating in the national mega projects taking place in this field.
Actually, it was really a good feeling. It gives me a futuristic vision of how this country is proceeding and where it will go. Like supporting these types of new technologies and caring about the environment is not common to developing countries like Egypt or any other countries. And this will put Egypt as a leader in Africa to lead all these kind of activities, to lead the funds that will come from the European countries or the developed countries to mitigate the climate actions, also to help these African countries how they can reduce the emissions. Like African countries, they don't have much, like it's less than 1 to 2% of the global emissions, but we can support in generating green products and green energy, which can be connected to Europe, and this can help them reduce their emissions, while this can support also us to have a green source of energy, green products that we can export to Europe, to Asia, and this will also help us to secure like currencies like euros, dollars, and this will help the economy to excel, and also will help the environment also to be in a better condition.
Yes. So let's talk about the Egypt hosting, the importance of Egypt hosting this conference, COP27, and also Egypt was very keen to host this conference actually. So what were the qualifications that made Egypt be able to host this conference with the UN, of course?
Yeah, exactly. Like Egypt, like being a leader, of course, like before we were like in the African Union and also leading all the negotiations, also like the history of Egypt, like in the last decades about like also resolutions of conflicts. And everything.
And the role that Egypt plays in, in the Middle East, of course, and Africa.
Exactly, yeah, that's...
Also Egypt in this conference was speaking Africa, of course.
Exactly, and this really helped. And African countries were really believing in Egypt as a leader in that term, because we are all living in one continent, so whatever will benefit Egypt will benefit the rest.
Yes.
So that's what made Egypt
the organizing and the preparations that you've seen in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. Talk to us about this, please.
It was really astonishing. I was really afraid at the beginning, just to maybe there would be a lot of countries coming, all these people coming around the world. But after I was there, and the good organization from the airport, the moment you are landing, and then taking you to your hotel, the free electric buses taking you everywhere along Sharm el-Sheikh city. Everyone was really astonished about Sharm el-Sheikh because it's still a new city. All the roads and infrastructure are really new, and everyone was really saying we didn't know that Egypt has these beautiful cities, and that also even some people I know, they even extended their stay just to enjoy the weather and to enjoy other activities.
After the conference,
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
So it was really, everything was just perfect. I mean, inside the blue zone, which is under the UN, and also the green zone, which is under the Egyptian authorities. So everything was just perfect in terms of transportation, logistics. Everything was handled in a perfect way.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Nasr, also there was a large number of Egyptian youth participating in the conference and active volunteering. And actually, the UN awarded the youth at the end of the conference who participated in. So, give us your insight concerning this.
Yeah, I was really happy to see all these Egyptians like participating, and you were not even participating only just to do the logistics. You were even like wants to know more about different topics.
Yes.
Like I was seeing them attending different sessions about energy, food, health. So it was really, I mean, even choosing these people to volunteer took a lot of process, I think, from the Egyptian government to choose the best people to represent Egypt in terms of that. They were really young, and even to let them have this experience organizing such event, it will really be an added value to them in the future. And also, yeah, I saw that like, yeah, UN and all the agencies under the UN were really happy about having this youth organizing and participating, because youth is the future of
Yes.
Egypt and even like the globe, because like you can come up with creative solutions, innovative solutions. They like to move a lot and be proactive. So
Yes.
it was really nice point having Egyptians youth volunteering
Participating,
to,
yes,
exactly.
yes, yes. So clean energy now, I mean, Egypt, can you see that Egypt is a candidate for or home to the green hydrogen production?
Yes, exactly. And even not only me, but also like international reports
Yes.
are saying that Egypt is one of the best places to have this kind of renewable or green energy in Egypt. There are like maybe in North Africa we're competing with Morocco,
Yes.
like in terms of having a good places. So that's why a lot of like there were around 19 MOUs signed in Egypt to have green hydrogen and green projects. What made these companies and countries believe in Egypt? It's also the reports, the facilitation, and also the, as I was saying before, the good resources of wind and solar, and also the facilitation and incentives that the government is giving for such projects.
Yes. So, Dr. Nasr, how would Egypt benefit from being a center for producing the green hydrogen? What is the benefit on the economic level and scientific level?
Yeah, from economical level, it will be really a good source. Like maybe for the coming years, we'll not be using the green hydrogen in our
Yes.
industries. We'll be exporting it to Europe. So
Yes.
this will provide us a good income from that. But later in the future, like in 10 years, maybe Egypt will be using these green hydrogen and green products in our industry, just to care about the environment. So socially and environmentally, this will be a good add to the government of Egypt to reduce
Yes.
the emissions and to be like a green country and have green cities inside the country.
Yes. So after attending and participating in the COP27 conference, how do you see the outcome and the recommendations of the conference?
Yeah, it was really good, and also like to have for the first time the loss and damage fund, which was announced today, to have it also for the developing countries,
Yes.
and to have the developed countries to pay some money for the developing countries to just excel and have their excess of energy, and to fund the activities that will have a benefit for the climate adaptation. It was really a good point, and also for the future, also because the next COP also will be in UAE, like in Emirates, so that's also a good addition, just to follow up of what we have reached in these discussions. And the discussion was really fruitful and in always negotiations. That's why they even extended the COP for 1 or 2 days.
2 days,
Yes, just to end the negotiations, because everyone was
concerning
just... Yes.
so have the recommendations succeeded in forcing the state parties to pay the necessary funding to the affected countries, especially the African countries?
Yes, they have now a tentative agreements to do so. So we'll be waiting to see the results
Yes.
happening in the future.
Yes. So what are your expectations in the near future after this conference?
I hope that what we have agreed on the COP that will happen. Hopefully, at least like more than 50% of what agreed, because the previous one was just also like, I mean, like this conference was about implementation, so everyone was just pushing to have implementation. So I hope that what everyone has promised in this COP to happen in the future, and to have their common attitude regarding the developing countries, because this is what will help us, like developed countries helping developing countries. That's what we really need in the future.
Yes. Dr. Nasr, you are an energy consultant in the United Nations Industrial Development Organization in the field of renewable energy. What I want to ask you about is to explain to us also the importance, and that was really a topic that took one day of discussion during the COP27, the green or the clean industry.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, surely. Like, I mean, many organizations are now trying to support Egypt to have their industries going green, because like we have been using the natural gas and fossil
fuels. Could you explain more? We see the factories and we see the smoke coming out of the machines, and explain to us more, of course in a simplified way, because some are not specialists in this field.
Yes, exactly. Like if you are taking like some industries, like heavy industries, like steel industries or refineries, usually they burn natural gas in their processes. So burning natural gas will reduce like some emissions that will affect the atmosphere and ozone layer. So mostly we're using natural gas because we have a surplus of natural gas, and it's subsidized in Egypt, and also using fossil fuels. So that's why like we have a lot of, like most of the factories are using fossil fuels in the past, and also even coal. We're using some coal in some factories. But now the new plan and Egypt's vision 2030 and even more is to phase out these plants, and also like some plants are also used to produce electricity. Like we have gas turbines which uses electricity. So the plan now is to replace these old technologies and old turbines using gas with new plants using solar energy and wind energy and whatsoever green. And many organizations are putting some grants, some incentives, some low interest loans to help Egypt phase out the old plants with the new plants.
One. Yes, so Egypt has come a long way in the gradual transition to clean energy. So Dr. Nasr, how do you see the steps that were taken by Egypt?
It's really a good steps actually to attract these investors to come and giving them like the good environment. This should help. Like, I mean, many investors are just coming because of the location and also the facilitation to have incentives, tax reduction for the equipment they will be using. Mostly they are asking now for something called one-stop shop. And I think the government is thinking about that. One-stop shop is just one entity. You go there and you ask for all the permits and all what you need. This will really help to attract more investors, because some investor will just come and they don't know the environment in Egypt, so they have to issue 20 permits or so they have to move a lot. But if you have just one place to issue these permits, this will really help to attract more investors to invest in such industries in Egypt.
Yes. So Dr. Nasr, what do we need to make the transition to clean energy, a lifestyle adopted by everyone in Egypt?
Yes, that's really a good question. I mean, the thing is, like, there are many factors, and even like I proposed some of these factors to the minister later, is about having like an R&D center for most of these technologies, like green hydrogen, for renewable energy, and to gather all the experts locally and globally to work in this center. And this center can focus on also people like students, university students as well, companies in Egypt, just to provide them with capacity buildings, with the needed trainings, just to inform them about the benefits of going green. Like, I mean, if we can go green, how this will help Egypt and to benefit from that. Also, the other thing is to have like the one-stop shop entity, just where you can go and ask all the permits you need, and it's just one time you go, no need to go to all the entities, other different entities.
Yes. Now, the COP27 that concluded in Sharm el-Sheikh was under the title "Together for Implementation." How do you read it?
Yes, I mean, that was in every session. Everyone was talking about the implementation. Even the funny thing, like I was seeing one of the session which really attracted me, and it's really like, I mean, it was called "Where is the money?" So, I mean, we have everything, but we need the money for implementation.
Funding,
yes, we need climate funding, green funding for all the projects. So everything is there, but just we need the money that the
So this
developed
needs
countries.
a high budget, preserving the
Exactly, yeah.
environment.
Yes, but given that the developed countries should give this budget to the developing countries, this to help them, because like I mean, developed countries have uses most of the resources from Africa or from Asia, but now it's the time to return that to them and help them to have their access to energy and access to human, like at least human rights. Like
Yes.
yes.
Yes, finally, my last question, that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi during the conference said that Egypt is set to increase investment in the field of renewable energy. What's your comment?
Yes, I mean the president is always supportive in such term, and even he's always keen on meeting the investors coming.
Yes.
I mean maybe the investors will meet the ministers, but he's always keen to meet them personally, to know what obstacles and what challenges they are facing
Yes.
in their projects, to lease them and to facilitate these types of challenges. So
Yes.
he's always keen on the transition, the energy transition to green energy. So he's always very supportive in that terms. So even before the COP, so that's what he's doing at the moment.
Yes, yes. I thank you very much for honoring us and for coming to us and joining us today in this special episode concerning the COP27. I really wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much for coming today, Dr. Hisham Nasr, expert in field of renewable energy and green energy and energy consultant in UN Industrial Development Organization in the field of renewable energy. I really had the pleasure to host you today.
No,
Thank
it's
you
my
so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cairo Local Time. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.